Taoiseach, workers all across the country will be deeply alarmed and angered by your latest plan for the state pension. Let's call it what it is, a Trojan horse designed by Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael to move the pension age to 70 by stealth. The cat is out of the bag. You want people to work until the age of 70, and I suppose this won't come as a surprise to anybody. After all, you are the parties who are hell-bent on raising the pension age to 67 and then to 68 until the weight of enormous public pressure made you climb down. However, instead of doing the right thing and bringing forward a progressive and fair policy, you now present a ploy to force people into working until they are 70 years of age with the promise of then having a decent standard of living. Retire at 70 for an extra €60 in pension. This is how one newspaper summarised it. However, Taoiseach, this is a scam. The pension deferral that you propose means in reality that you will take thousands of euro in pension payments from workers, payments that they would now currently have as of right. We need to be clear on this. It's not only those approaching pension age who are angered by your plan, but also young workers who look on now and who will wonder if they will ever get the chance to retire at all. You see, workers should have the right to retire at 65 with their pension if that's what they want. Your proposal completely ignores the everyday reality of those who do hard physical jobs that take a toll on the body. Many of these workers started work at 16 or 17, some younger. I'm talking about factory workers, carers, retail workers, those on their feet all day in the service industry, nurses and many, many more. Hundreds and thousands of workers left out in the cold by your plan. They aren't incapacitated, they don't need an invalidity payment. They simply don't have anything left in the tank to keep working beyond the age of 65. They've put in their shift, they've done their bit, they are exhausted, Taoiseach. And their right to retire at 65 on a fair pension is not only a matter of public policy, it's also a matter of principle and of basic decency. You're either for it or against it. Clearly, your government is not only against it, but you will move heaven and earth to ensure that it doesn't happen. Sinn Féin is for the right to retire at 65 with a decent pension. That's what we would deliver in government. And by the way, if we were delivering the budget next week, we'd back up this commitment with an increase in the state pension of €15. A hishi, tá plán agat chun ísin finsin a bugad go 7 bliain d'aois. Tá daoine ag iarraidh go mbeadh chun ceart acu éirí as ag 65 le pension réasúnta. Tar éis dó a bheith ag obair go crua ar feadh a saoil ar fad. It is the duty of any government worthy of the name to provide a state pension that allows pensioners to live a good and secure life. People looking on today will be very worried. So I have a straight question for you, Taoiseach, and I would like a straight answer. Why is your government so dead against the right to retire with a decent pension at the age of 65?
Thank you, Deputy Taoiseach, please.
The first point I would say, and I make this as a general point, people do get very anxious and get very worried when politicians tell barefaced lies. And we shouldn't tell the public barefaced lies. I say that generally, as politicians. We should tell the people the truth.
And
the bottom line here is, very clear here. The pension age is 66. I absolutely don't know where you're coming from, Deputy. You are not telling the truth in terms of your presentation that you just presented now. Because the government decision is the pension age will not rise beyond 66. And basically, under this system, people will still be able to retire at 66 and draw down their full pension in exactly the same way as they can today. Now, you are in government and have been in government for the last number of years in Northern Ireland. You voted to increase the pension age to 66. And you have the nerve to come in here and attack this government for retaining the pension age at 66. I mean, I don't know how you do it. I mean, it's a spectacular feat that you pull off. You're in government, have been in government in Northern Ireland for well over a decade, and your members voted for 66 as the pension age. Now, this government has decided the people will retire at 66. We are creating choice for people as well, because people always seek choice in terms of their pension options and in terms of the state pension. And the report on the Commission on Pensions has a range of sustainability measures also. And there needs to be a collective engagement by the House on that in terms of making sure the pension system is sustainable over a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year, 40-year horizon. Now, the Social Insurance Fund is in surplus, will be in surplus now, I think to the tune of potentially 3 billion. Original estimates some years ago would have had it at a deficit. But that can change too. That can change to the negative. I have to be very clear and add that. So every politician in this House has a responsibility to younger generations as well to make sure that the pensions are sustainable. And that will involve difficult decisions in the years ahead in respect of PRSI and so on. But please, Deputy, I know you're desperate to win more and more votes, become more popular than ever, but do not put that one out there. Don't tell that basic untruth that somehow the pension age isn't staying at 66 when you know full well that the government decision today, and I repeat, people will still be able to retire at 66 and draw down their full pension in exactly the same way as they can today. So let's not cause that anxiety to people. Let's not create a false story. Let's not fake it. Let's not create fake news here. And fake news can worry people and can cause anxiety. There's no need to cause it in respect to the pension age of 66. No need at all. Agus caithfidh mé rá, sin é an íreanna. Níl chásta aine bréige é insint an cinenne atá déinte ag an rialtas mar leis an pension agus sin caithfidh mé be darfach fi sin. Beg to an án, airí as obair ar a seasca sé bliain díos.
So, Taoiseach, all of the anxiety that has been caused on this issue has been caused by you and people of your ilk, who had plans, bear in mind, to ratchet things up to 67, 68 and beyond. And you cited all sorts of reasons and rationales for doing that. Our position has been and remains consistent that the appropriate age, the fair age to retire, to be given the choice to retire with your pension, is the age of 65. What today's proposal sets out is a system of deferral, an enticement, you might say, for people to work on till they're 70. I actually regard that as a move of coercion, not to incentivise, but to, by stealth, ratchet things up to the age of 70. And that is simply wrong. I am not one bit ageist. I know for sure that there are those who will wish to work beyond the age of 65, and they must be facilitated in that, and more power to them. But we live in the real world, gentlemen and ladies, and we live in a world where people who have worked from a very young age in very physical jobs simply are not able, do not wish to work beyond 65. So let me repeat my question, Taoiseach, and you might answer without evasion or insult towards me. Why are you so against the simple premise of a retirement age, the choice at the age of 65? And why is your proposal today not simply to set that out?
Who made this up for you? The government decision is clear. Anybody can retire at 66, will be able to retire at 66 under the government decision, just as they can retire today at 66. Do you not get that? You are deliberately not telling the truth on this one, it seems to me, in terms of the age and the deferring. You kind of moved to the Trojan horse. I don't know who made it up. I have addressed it.
No, you
the
have
core
not.
issue is 66.
No, you have not.
That's the core issue. The second issue you refer to, you said we all want to facilitate people who want choice or might want to stay on.
We've
That's what the government is doing.
legislation.
That's what the government is doing. It's going to
ago.
facilitate people who want to defer
You don't
whatever
want to
they want
answer-
to do.
You don't stand
but
over your own proposal. Fine.
the full pension will be available to people at 66. That's the government decision. No question about
And
it.
an
Please,
enhanced one
you
at
have an
70.
obligation really not to, in terms of the public watching in, to really be faithful to the decision the government has taken
Yes.
in how you describe it.
I have
And what I would
described
say
it
also
accurately.
is that in terms of the 65-year-old, the Minister has got sanction from the government for those who work 40 years of their life, in manual work in particular, who are not in a position to continue working, to explore avenues to facilitate them also. That's also a decision that was taken by the government today.
Short on, please.
That's unbelievable what you're asking.
Please, can we have respect for